Emily Bronte was born in Thornton, United Kingdom in 1818 and died of tuberculosis in 1848. She was the most famous literary author among her three sisters and reached a literary breakthrough with the publication of her only novel by the name Wuthering Heights in 1847. Emily was an introverted and quiet woman, and these traits created for her an aura of mystery. Wuthering Heights is a story of a tormented yet undying love, a passion so incredibly intense it turns into reciprocal hatred and desire for revenge. In this novel, a maid named Nellie tells the heart-wrenching love story to Mr. Lockwood, who just moved to Truscott Grange, residence close to the Wuthering Heights manor, where he spent a night and got to know the housekeeper, Heathcliff. Heathcliff was an orphan, who the owner of Wuthering Heights welcomed into his house. The guy falls in a mutual love with Catherine, the owner's daughter. However, their love turns out to be impossible due to their social differences. Catherine then decided to marry Edgar Linton, while Heathcliff, who just got back from a trip to England after making a fortune, decides to take revenge by marrying Linton's sister, Isabel. Catherine dies during labor, giving birth to baby Cathy. Before dying, the woman confesses her true feelings towards Heathcliff, admitting she didn't listen to her heart and let selfishness and ambition destroy her life. Heathcliff, filled with revenge, takes possession of both the Earnshaws and Linton's assets. After succeeding, he dies shortly after and is buried alongside Catherine. The book is based on two parallel love stories. The first half tells about Catherine and Heathcliff's love, while the second half tells the story of Cathy and Ayrton Earnshaw's love. As many other literary masterpieces, Wuthering Heights too has countless film adaptations. A famous one is the 1939 William Wyler's edition, starring Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff, Mary Oberon as Catherine, and David Niven as Edgar Linton. The movie only displays the first half of the book, and the characters of Cathy Linton, Ayrton Earnshaw, and Linton Heathcliff are not present, thus denying the hope of the final redemption present in the book. There are also differences of setting. We are not in the 18th century, but at the half of the 19th century, time when Bronte lived. There are also very crowded scenes in the movie, symbol of chaotic confusion which doesn't exist in the book. One of the best-made adaptations is the 1992 Peter Kosminski's one, which stars Ralph Fiennes as Heathcliff and Juliette Binoche as both Catherine and Cathy. Among the supporting cast, there is Janet McTeer, which stars as a too young and participating Nellie. However, this is justified. If Nellie and Mr. Lockwood tell about the stories of Wuthering Heights and Truscott Grange in the book, Emily Bronte herself regains the role of main narrator, and movie starts and ends with Bronte visiting Wuthering Heights. There are many important themes in Wuthering Heights, such as the contrast between good and bad, but the most important one is the undying love between a man and a woman, which leads to self-destruction. Loving equals suffering, and Emily Bronte grants its destiny to the novel's characters. Another important theme is the scenery. The English moors, in fact, symbolize Heathcliff's twisted mind. Then there's the love-obsession relationship of the main characters. Tied together by an unbreakable bond, their love is represented by their mutual identification. In the book, Catherine will once declare of being Heathcliff. The rupture of this love leads to anger, fights, and revenge, another fundamental theme in the novel. After Catherine's wedding, Heathcliff, blinded by hate, begins to live with the sole purpose of revenge. When Catherine, his only source of happiness, is taken away from him, Heathcliff's repressed anger violently erupts, creating a chain reaction, an evil, vicious cycle that will bring both of them to destruction. Heathcliff and Catherine aren't mean. They are victims of coincidence and fate. They are tied by an inhuman bond which makes it impossible for them to be apart. This leads to the rebellion of the damned man, who, after being torn apart, will challenge fate in order to regain inner peace. I chose to analyze Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights because I've always been a hopeless romantic. I always dream of experiencing this incredible and deep bond like the one who links Catherine and Heathcliff together. However, what I was able to make a part of me after time and experience is being realist. When I was little, I used to dream of being a princess trapped in a tower. Prince Charming came to my rescue, and we both were happily ever after. I thought everything was perfect and beautiful because I still didn't know anything about the human mind. I learned that there are not only love and affection, but there are also fights and disagreement. I am deeply convinced there's a balance in life we must respect. We have to control our feelings, whether they be positive or negative, and not let them take over and destroy our lives.